Silversmith presenting a short video on how to create a sterling silver colonial buckle.
I'll get started and show you some of the items that I use for sand casting, including the flask, the sand, and torches and items like.
First off, I've got a flask here. It's two pieces, front and back. It's called the cope and the drag. I've got a heavy-duty ruler right here for scraping sand, and I've also got a small little poking tool to draw some air vents here in a moment. Over here I've got some long-handled needle nose pliers. This is for picking up the crucible when it's hot, when I'm pouring. This is a scrap piece of sterling silver, which I will be using to pour the buckle. Over here I've got my oxygen acetylene setup. I believe it's a B tank and a 60. I could be wrong on that. You got to set these things appropriately depending on which torch tip you use. Got a quench bucket over here, which I'll have to fill up with some water as well. This is the colonial buckle I will be pouring today. Get started with the process. I'll take the flat side that does not have pins. Start loading some sand in there. Pack it in pretty good. Once it's all packed in there, we'll scrape it. Alright. Now there's a bit of concave on this buckle, so I've got to do a little trick here and build a mound. That way, when I sit the buckle in here, it will adhere to the concave and settle in properly. I've also got to figure out where I want to pour the silver in from, which is probably, most likely, going to be sideways. So I'll actually take this and rotate that way a bit. I'll place this on here. I'll gently push down, knowing that I've got a break there. If this buckle was solid, I probably wouldn't worry about it as much. Because we don't want to break this beauty. I'll work some of the sand around to these voids underneath here. You got to fill in these voids, or else you'll end up having extra silver to clean. Once you go around, you pack the voids up underneath. A couple things you can do here. Brush the top off. And you'll actually want to knock this out one time. That cleans any extra sand that's on the edges. I'm going to place it back exactly where it was after. Small application of baby powder, which is going to be used to break the mold. You don't want the sand to stick, so drop that back in there. It sits right back into place, essentially. We grab the drag, pop the drag on, cope, drag, and sprinkle a light layer of sand on here to begin with. I'll gently pack it in there on top of the buckle. Pack more sand in until we're full. Scrape it with the ruler once again. Pop it open. This is one side. This is the negative side. This is the positive side because the buckle is still there. Next, I've got to go ahead and make a little trail for the silver to come in. So I'm going to start up here and work my way down towards that little designed scalloped area. I don't really want to pour it in there, but I'm going to because this buckle does not leave me much option to pour, being that it is so thin. So I'm going to scrape up here all the way right to the edge of the scallop design on the buckle. excuse me. We'll pat this sand in combination with blowing it out, because you don't want it to come down with your silver. I'm going to try to replicate that tunnel again here. Scrape, scrape, scrape up to that little scallop design. You can go a little further on the back because it helps the silver flow, and you're not going to hurt the design. The design is on the other side, on the positive side. Now, importantly, I've got to draw some air vents in the sand here. Otherwise, the silver may not flow correctly. It could have problems. So I like to get, at most corners, an air vent, and on the sides. We hope that's enough. So we've got these two. Silver's coming from the top. Should have enough room for it. Next, we're going to close this up. Some clamps on it. And place it in here. All right. My heat source is an oxygen acetylene setup. Turn these on. Adjust those to 5 on the acetylene, 10 on the oxygen. Looks good. Now we'll get to the fun stuff. Hopefully I've got enough gas. I've got this. Good glow, red, and nothing sticks to the sides when you swirl it. Down the hatch. Hopefully we have success. Let's see what's going on here. I think we're going to have a buckle. My next order of business will be to knock off all these little pieces and the sprue with my jeweler's saw. Some of these can just be removed by bending them. Perfect. Next up, I'll get the sharp edges filed off. Whatever needs to be removed. This is my Fordham hand tool. It's kind of like a Dremel, but better. This is going to be cleaning up the exterior. That's pretty good for starters anyway. You can see right away it starts getting rid of some of that rough texture from the sand. And then on to the polishing machine at this point. Yeah, aside from a quick wipe of the jewelry cloth, there you have it, folks. Got a colonial shoe buckle. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Hope you learned something. Hope you can apply it somewhere in your treasure life. Thank you for watching.
Wow, I loved that. That was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. And again, this was the task we set Tim. Tim happened to have one of these. Not found all that often as well. So really exciting. In fact, actually, let's put mine in the cabinet a sec. I'll just show you something. Hang on. Turn that on. See that?